Have you ever thought about a tractor out in a field just doing its thing? It's collecting all this simple data, its location, what job it's doing. Now, how does that little bit of info get from that field all the way to a government agency's database? You'd think it would be straightforward, but the journey's actually way more complex. And as we're about to see, incredibly smart. So that's the big question, isn't it? How do you get that data from a tractor to the authorities? And this is the important part, do it easily and securely. We're going to unpack a really elegant solution to this very modern problem. Here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the agricultural data challenge itself. Then we'll meet the key players in the story and their roles. After that, we'll dive deep into how this whole data brokerage thing works, check out the benefits for everyone involved, and then we'll take a peek into the future of farming. All right, let's jump right in. Part 1, the data challenge. And really, this all boils down to one simple concept, the need for ground truth. You see, the Finnish Food Authority, or Ruokvirasto, they use satellites to keep an eye on farmland. But a satellite photo can only tell you so much, right? To really understand what's happening, they need to know what was actually done on the ground and when it was done. That on-the-ground data is what they call ground truth, and it makes their satellite analysis way more accurate and a whole lot more efficient. So when you've got a challenge like this, how do you solve it? Well, you don't go it alone. You assemble an expert team. And in this case, the solution brought together 4 key organizations, each holding a really specific piece of the puzzle. So here's our cast of characters. First, you've got the Finnish Food Authority. They're the data consumer. They're the ones who say, this is the information we need. Then you have Luke, the Natural Resources Institute. They act as the farmer's proxy, handling the consent to share data. The actual data comes from No Limits Remote Control. They're the data source, providing the hardware on the tractor. And tying it all together, you have Data Space Europe, the data broker, using their Tritom service to route everything securely. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. The data doesn't just flow through one giant pipe. No, the whole system is built around 2 different data products, and each one has its own consent process. This is what puts the farmer completely in the driver's seat. So let's look at the first one, getting data to the authority. The whole thing is based on consent. The food authority says, hey, we need this specific data. Then a service product gets created. You can think of it like a digital permission slip. The farmer, through Luke, just logs into the system and activates the service. And that's it. It's like flipping a switch. The data pipeline opens, and Tritom starts routing only that specific data from the tractor to the food authority. But what if the farmer wants to use that data too? That's where data product number 2 comes in. The hardware company, No Limits, defines a new, richer stream of data. The farmer then requests to get that data sent to their own farm software. No Limits approves it, the farmer activates another service product, and boom. Tritom now routes this totally separate stream of data straight to the farmer's system. It's the same tractor, same hardware, but 2 different data streams going to 2 different places, all controlled by the farmer's consent. You might be wondering, okay, but how do you keep all this secure? Great question. The magic is something called an X509 certificate. The easiest way to think about it is like a digital passport for the app on the phone. It's a unique cryptographic key that proves to the system, yep, I'm the real deal, you can trust me. This creates a secure, authenticated connection, like a digital handshake, that makes sure no imposters can send or listen in on the data. It's absolutely foundational to the system's security. So why go through all this trouble? Why is this data brokerage model so much better than the old way of just building a direct connection? Well, it turns out the benefits are massive for absolutely everyone involved. Let's start with the most direct benefit, cold, hard cash. For the hardware company, No Limits Remote Control, using this model meant they avoided spending at least 150,000 euros. That's the kind of money it would have cost them to build and run their own cloud service, just to handle this one thing. And why would a company want to avoid building their own cloud? Well, a few big reasons. First, their core business is making great hardware, not becoming cloud infrastructure experts. Second, and this is so important, their customers, the farmers, do not want another data silo. They don't want another app, another login, another password to remember. This approach lets No Limits focus on what they do best and deliver what their customers actually care about, getting their data where they want it to go, simply and securely. And this slide just lays out the difference perfectly. On the left, you have the traditional way of doing things. It's technology-focused, it's expensive, and you end up with this tangled mess of point-to-point connections that are impossible to scale. But on the right, you have the data brokerage model. It's business-focused, it's cost-effective, it's flexible, and it's all based on simple consent. It's designed to scale right from the get-go. So with all this tech working in the background, what does the farmer actually have to do? It's almost nothing, which is the beauty of it. Once the permissions are set up, it's just 3 steps. 1, download the app. 2, log in with their Tritom ID. And 3, pair the app with the little Bluetooth logger on the tractor. And that's it. Seriously. From that moment on, the data just flows automatically, exactly where they said it could go. It's a true set it and forget it system.
Okay, so let's zoom out now and look at the big picture, because this approach is really a blueprint for the future of how we share data, not just in farming, but pretty much everywhere.
The real superpower of this model is what we call the one-to-many advantage. In the old world, if a new company wanted that tractor data, you'd have to build a whole new technical integration. It's a nightmare. With consent-based routing, that one tractor can securely send data to one recipient or 10 or 100, and the hardware company doesn't have to change a single line of code. The farmer just has to give their permission. You completely avoid that technical spaghetti monster of old systems. So where does this all lead? This quote paints a really exciting picture of what's next. In the future, machine data will verify subsidy conditions and enable immediate payment. Just think about that. A world where a farmer finishes a job, the data from the machine instantly verifies that the work was done correctly, and the subsidy payment is triggered automatically. No paperwork, no waiting, just seamless, trusted automation. You know, this whole project in Finland is about so much more than just tractors. It's proof that a fairer, more efficient, and more secure data economy is possible. And it really leaves you with a big thought, doesn't it? What if all data sharing was this simple? What other industries could be totally transformed if we just put the people who own the data back in control?